Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Weichelt Wednesday. This is Robert Weichelt in EXP out of San Diego with my good buddy, Mitch Ribak. I mean, what a great name. Ribs. I feel like McRib. I just want to have a rib sandwich.
Yeah, I got kicked out of court once because I made fun of the lawyer for getting it wrong. Look, it's a rib and a back. Put it together.
Ribback. It's the easiest thing to say. So with that said, who's Mitch Ribak?
Just a little short bald guy in Cocoa Beach, Florida, hanging out, surfing. And no, I don't surf. I'm afraid of the sharks. Chronic entrepreneur. I've been self-employed since I was 19 for 41 years. I'm so freaking old. Blows my mind. And I got into real estate after I was the first online dating service, and I lost that in 2000 when the market crashed. And everybody told me to become a realtor. I'm like, I don't want to be a realtor. And then I became a realtor, and I don't know. I thought it was so easy. Everybody's like, well, if you sell 6 homes your first year, you're doing good. I'm like, I sell 6 homes, I'm bankrupt. So I sold 36 homes my first year, and 50 my second year, and 80 my third year, 80 my fourth year. And then I started my brokerage later in my 4th year, and did that for 13 years. Yeah.
You know what? That's an awesome story. I mean, you basically, you've failed forward. You've had a failed opportunity there, and you've basically recreated yourself to something just utterly successful. So let's get right into that. The top 3 things that folks that are listening to this recording, the first thing I want to do is, what does your life look like in 5 years? Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So my life looks pretty amazing in 5 years because it's changed dramatically in 4 years, almost 4 years. I'll give you an example. 4 years ago, I was running a brokerage with 120 agents, barely breaking even. My best year, I made 200 grand. Average year, I lost between $50,000 and making $100,000. Went to sell the company, and that's kind of a joke. If you ever try to sell a real estate company, it's really funny, actually. They don't actually pay you the number they're going to pay you. It's about half of that, maybe. And anyways, I love the EXP model. I checked into it and researched it. And then after I didn't sell the company to Century 21, which was trying to buy me, I met with Jason Gessing, the CEO of the company. And, my biggest hang up was, I'm a big broker. I want my name. He goes, just keep your name. Just be Tropical Realty brokered by EXP. I'm like, why didn't you tell me that 2 years ago when I first met with you? I would have probably done it back then. But anyways, so we moved over. There's a little bit of story between there, but I could take another half hour to talk about, so we won't. But anyways, we moved over in June of 2017 with 40 agents. And today I will hit 1,300 agents today, I believe.
Those are some very impressive numbers. That's definitely a life changer, game changer for sure.
It has changed my life dramatically. I'm not going to tell you my dollar figures on it because it's not appropriate, but I make 3 to 4 times more than I ever made on my best year I ever had when I had my brokerage.
Amen to that, brother.
Zero liability. I went from 80 to 100 hours a week. I work 40 hours a week now, maybe. I don't think it's that much. I tell that to myself to make myself feel better that I'm still working. I play guitar in a rock band with my grandkids, and I play baseball with my grandson 4 nights a week.
Wow, that is an impressive balance.
So not 5 years now, but a year from now, we've already started the transition phase of me getting out of my job. And Pat, my general manager, is going to be out of her job. So by the end of this year, I will be working about 20 hours a week. I will be working from, not from my office here. I'll be working from someplace in Italy or Spain or Hong Kong or Israel or the UK or France, or every other month, we're going to be traveling to one country. And we're going to work for a month. I'm going to work for a month. My wife will be on vacation because she's retired. And Pat and her husband will be with me. And that's kind of our plan. We've got to the point now where we can travel for free and have an amazing next, I got about another 80 years left of life. I think 140, 142. So, my next 80 years look really awesome.
You know what? That's an impressive game plan. And what I take from that is it's crystal clear and it's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of this is the time, these are the things I'm doing, and this is how it's getting done. That's very, very impressive, man. I can't wait to come visit you in one of those many countries you'll be in.
Anytime. Well, I had a goal when I started. My goal was 1,000 agents by the end of my 4th year, 250 agents a year. I thought that was a reasonable number. Yeah. And I'll hit 1,500 by June. So I did it by 500. Yeah.
Those are impressive numbers. That leads me to my next question. that we talked about is what happens when something happens. Elaborate on that.
Yeah. So that was the reason why I joined. That was the motivating factor. A couple of reasons. I turned 55 years old. I know I look like I'm 25, but I turned 55, and I was looking at myself in the mirror. That's my accountability technique, is to look in the mirror in my eyes and talk to myself about my life. It's very, very powerful, by the way. Everybody should try that. But I was, my parents both died in their 50s. Most of my uncles died in their 50s, and I really kind of freaked out. Here I am, Mr. Big Broker that's broke, but didn't tell anybody that because I drove a nice car and nice suits. And of course, I learned nice shoes were important. My wife taught me that because she's got about 200 pair. And yeah, it's crazy. I live for her. I work for her shoes. It's crazy life. But I literally started freaking out. I said, what happens to myself, to my family, not me, if I died? Like if I died at 58 or 59, like my parents did, what happens to my family? I have a granddaughter with a very rare disease. What happens to her? So that was really the catalyst for me to really look at selling the company. And then when I learned that was a joke, joining EXP, I honestly, as much as I had my goal of 1,000, I probably would have been happy if I hit 500 in the first 4 years. Because remember, it took me 13 years to grow a brokerage from 6 agents to 120 agents. It's taken me 3 3/4 years to go from 40 agents to 1,300 agents. Pretty cool.
Those are good. Those are good numbers.
So when I talk to my friends, I'm like, look, what happens if something happens? The reality is, a broker, or if you're the breadwinner, as soon as the day you drop, and by the way, dying is your way out. If it's worse, is having a major stroke or something like that, or a car accident or something where you're paralyzed and you can't work, your family's financially screwed. Now the beauty with the EXP model is my wife is licensed, my daughter's licensed, and my boys are all going to get licensed. Is we have generational wealth now. They're just going to, if I drop dead today on this call, which I hope I don't, by the way, that would suck for you guys. But if I did, my wife just pops in and my lot of money I'm making this year still comes in. Pretty cool.
That is definitely covers the what happens if something happens. And inevitably something does happen where we can't go out there and do what we do best, is sell homes.
Yep.
So, I mean, if something happens in, like you said, like let's use a car accident as an example. I find it very difficult to go help buyers and sellers showing and taking listings when you're, in traction. That just would be very difficult to do.
But it's not even like, I'll give you an example. I had a new agent that came in yesterday for an interview that joined. She was doing really well in real estate, and her mom and dad got sick at the same time. She had to stop. She couldn't sell anymore. She was busy taking care of her parents before they passed away. It was 2 years that she literally had no income because of that. And she goes, I said, well, you were able to at least take care of your parents and all that stuff. She goes, yeah, but I literally had no money coming in. Yeah. And my parents don't have money. It wasn't like she was living off her parents. She was scraping by to pay the bills while she was taking care of her parents. So it's not necessarily something that can even happen to you. If you have parents that are still alive that are getting up to an age, or a child that gets sick. I mean, there's so many factors, or a husband or a wife that gets sick. There's so many factors besides getting injured that could alter your course. And again, any of that stuff that happens to me now, my family's taking care of.
You know what? And that's impressive. I mean, it's because it's something I've always thought about. I've been in the business a little over 35 years. Wow. And there's always inevitably something that happens that stops you from doing what you need to do. Because if it's to be, it's up to me. That's the kind of attitude most agents have. Right. And they're the ones out there hustling and doing the things. But when that stops, or you're not able to go out and do those things, then what? So that leads me to my next thing is, how has EXP changed your life? Talk to me about that.
All right. So I'll give you a couple of, without, lots of details, but so firstly, was able to pay off my house with stock. Pretty cool. Pay off all my debt. I have zero debt. The only thing I have is my car payment, which is stupid big because I have no other debt. And I like nice cars. My wife got to retire. I went from 80 hours a week, I said, down to 40 hours a week. You know what it is? I'm doing the life now that I thought I was going to have when I started my brokerage. So when I started my brokerage, I did the leverage, right? That's what I believed a brokerage would do. Wrong. I thought people were actually like me, they're motivated and want to be successful. Wrong. I didn't know I was a glorified babysitter. Yes. I'm sorry if I'm insulting anybody out there, but that's really what a broker does you are part sales manager, you're part psychologist, you're part father, sometimes part mother. I mean, it was, and then the best part about being a broker is you work really, really hard to get people to that level. I finally I'm like, look at them, so proud, like the proud dad that I am. And they go, Mitch, you're like the best mentor ever. But I'm going to go over there now.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. So, yeah, it's created an amazing life for my family. My wife wakes up every day and her words are, "I'm so grateful for this moment."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what that is? Those are some inspiring words. And I'm going to kind of close it up with this. What would you like to say? What would the closing remarks be to an agent that's not yet with EXP? That what would be their call to action? What would you like to close with?
Well, I have a one-word answer for that, which is just join. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Look, I didn't give up $4 million because I'm a stupid business person. I gave it up, very risky, by the way, because there was only 50 agents in Florida at the time, and 2,800 in the total company. I'm a visionary, and I look to the future. We have so much more growth ahead of us over the next 2 to 3 years, especially. If you are got some sort of a business mind, you need to really take a hard, serious look at this and just do it. The worst case scenario, this is what I told my wife. This is why we were able to give up everything and go for it. We said, look, the worst case scenario is I can always go back, right? You can always go back to whatever you're doing now, the brokerage you're at now. If you're a broker now, you can always go back to being a broker. You just flip that switch. You can always go back, but we've already proven that we're going to do what we're doing. So the proving things is gone. We don't have to prove that now. We've already proved that. So we broke everything that had to be broken. We fixed everything that had to be fixed. And now it's that time for you to come over and join this company and have a ball. It's so much fun.
I think you hit the nail on the head there is broker. I'm a broker, and I was broker than any one of my agents.
Oh, yeah.
But what we're doing is we're having fun. When I was first introduced to EXP, I've been in the business a long time, and it's a grind. Yeah. But when I got introduced to EXP, and I'm not pumping it up, but it's like my wife said, I glowed. I like the business again. I'm having fun. I'm with people that I enjoy being with. Yep. And it's just an amazing experience for me personally. And I know it is for you as well. Well, I tell you what, Mitch, this has been a fantastic episode of Weichelt Wednesday. And I encourage every agent that's paying attention to this to reach out to me right away. And let's introduce to you what we're doing. So, Mitch, I want to thank you very much. I'll see you in Cabo, my friend. And we will go ahead and we will talk again soon.